Hey there, gorgeous. um, we're here with another juicy conversation for you. Just to, just for fun, right? Like at this point, is it fun? Is it heartbreaking? Because what I want to talk about today, we need a little pep in your step to go into it, and it's about shame. Shame, right? Shame, shame, if you know the reference. Um, yeah, it's not funny. It's actually I want to talk about the patterns, the loops in your life that lead you on, like, do you notice that, like, you have literally that same pattern of shame, like it keeps coming up with different people, different circumstances, different things in your life, but it's that same feeling of like, ugh, ah, shame. And I love, if you don't know Brene Brown and her incredible studies on shame, like look that up. But it's a beautiful thing that she mentions when it, it's just such a gross emotion, such a not even gross, just like such a difficult thing for us to feel and to allow ourselves to feel, and then like go on with our lives, right? Like that's the one, like you could be like, I got all these like I could be angry, I'm gonna feel that. I could be, I could be happy and feel that, great. But shame, to feel ashamed of yourself, it just cuts in a way that like is very, very hard to sit with, like, in presence, right? Like presence project, shout out, right? I, One of the biggest things that I think about is like, oh, clock the emotions that you're not willing to sit through, that you're not very comfortable with, like when they're like, just feel the feelings and just be in it, cool. But there's some that you're like, no, not that, not today. I need to go on with my day because I have to. I have responsibilities, right? But if we just set out a little time to to feel that shame, um and like what that means in your life, like it's just it, it's all consuming. Like you'll be at work thinking about that moment that made you ashamed. You'll be taking care of your child and thinking, instead of being present, thinking about that moment that made you feel ashamed. You could be like in the best scenario of your life, like dream job, dream situation, and still be thinking about that shameful whatever. And the loop is crazy, right? So, what I'm exploring is, when they're like, you have to feel it, right? So, I, I, I know that they say that, like, you have to feel it and work through that. Yes. And I also know why. Like that's what they don't tell you a lot of the time. Like go through the emotion and let it move, and then you don't feel it anymore, right? But I'm talking about loops, because in my experience, like, yes, you could, like, in the moment, you could like use presence as a weapon to like change, to alchemize like what you're feeling, and feel like in that moment I made my shame meaningful, so now it's good, right? And this is like the spiritual evolution that like I want to like explore and continue. Yes, you can totally change it by thinking different thoughts, you know, and by really looking at the shameful moment or the people involved and like really giving yourself grace with it and just being like, oh, this is, yeah, all the studies, all the things that you hear. However, it keeps coming back. And this is what I have a problem with. The loop, the pattern, the same lesson. You think like, oh man, I dodged, like I felt that, and then like I got through it and I survived, Lord, right? And then that shit comes back, same feeling. And I'm like, maybe something's not so clean here, right? Maybe something's not so sturdy in the foundation of it, right? So what I've been exploring is more of a how do we really address what's going on with that so that the universe is not presenting opportunities for us to heal that. Because you can say you're healed all you want, and if the same thing that hurts you keeps coming back, you're like, all right, what is it? what am I doing wrong? Like, why am I such a failure, right? And then, you know, the self-loathing and the loop starts again, right? But what if, right? It's a matter of like, disgustingly, I know it feels awful, just going in there and being like, I'm really ashamed and I'm gonna feel that. And then you say, am I also making up stories about what the other people involved are thinking? Are like, I'm so ashamed because I know I fucked this up and she's probably thinking blah, 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 blah. He's going to be so mad at me because blah, 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 blah. And in your mind, it's a whole universe. It's a whole universe about how this turned out and that. Meanwhile, nothing of the sort has happened, right? So guess what we're doing with that? We're creating, right? Which is also scary. Like, oh my God, I have this much power and I can't even control my feelings, right? So that's scary too. If you resonate, like I'm right there with you. I'm just like, you know, and like suck the words back in. Like, you didn't think that, but like you do feel that. Like that's just be honest. It's not your words. Like you already feel that way. So it doesn't matter. Affirmations are great when you're like focusing on what you need. Like, but if just words slip out of your mouth, it's cool. It's okay. It's more about like, why? Why do you feel that way? And then you ask yourself, okay, so yeah, if that person never speaks to me again, then what? What does that mean? What does that mean about me? Right? If that, you know, that presentation I made, like it felt like I failed at life. That audition I had, like I just embarrassed myself. So what does that mean? Oh, they'll never call me again. I owe money to so many people and they're after me for it. What does that mean? I'm a failure. I have no money. And people, like, of course, want their money. So I'm here scared, right? But if you go deep into it, like, hey, if you had the money, you would give it, right? If circumstances were, if it was within your control, again, this all about control. Shame and control have a lot to do with each other. So when we're thinking about shame, we're also thinking about how controlling we are. And that's baby, that is, at the end of the day, you controlling. You're trying to control the uncontrollables and feeling ashamed about what you can't do. Like, why are we making ourselves bad for things that you're like, oh, I know that if I could and I could be and I could give that money or that whatever, if I could pay that, like I would. Why can't that be like, and done? Discussion over. The person at the other end of it can feel and will feel whatever they want and whatever they need because they have sovereignty just like you. So why can't I say like, hey, I'm going to stop making stories about what you're thinking about it. Unless that person comes at you with like, I'm thinking this way. And that's a lot of the time that's a relief so that you can then respond in whatever, like give me the fear in your brain is a lot worse than someone saying, hey, where's my money? Or whatever it is, or like, you did this to me. I'm hurt. Like that would be lovely to hear someone actually voice their feelings, right? But we don't get that a lot. So we just make it up. We just make it up. Just think about the instances in your life and you can comment and let me know if like, yo, there's some instances where like I've fucked up so badly that like really there's no excuse. There's no excuse, right? And like those are the juicy ones because then I'm like, then what? Then what does that mean? What does that mean about you? What does that mean about you? That you don't deserve to live? That you don't deserve like what your blessings should be? Because, and then it always comes down to like why you made the decisions that you made. Like in the moment, there's always a reason, right? There's always a thing going on that will allow you to give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Like this shit is not for the weak. And so if some people are feeling some type of way about you, like ain't nobody got time for that, right? Like could we just like take the power back for a second and say, hey, I'm suffering enough. I give myself enough grief for everybody that I don't need whatever it is you're spewing, right? Like if I owe you money, you know in your heart that when you got it, you're just gonna pay that shit and like shut the fuck up, right? Or if something at work is going on where you're feeling uncomfortable, like any scenario where you're feeling less than, if you just really just try to dive into the feeling and say, I feel this, and that means this about me, and then this is gonna happen, and then that's gonna happen. Like go through the rabbit hole so that your brain can like process it, right? And then at the end, be like see what you have. Like a lot of times, like, and then I'm dead, right? And then I'll die because that's so horrible. Meanwhile, you've gone through some things that are just, it's a miracle you're here. And we keep forgetting about those. Like, oh yeah, look, I survived that. Like, this is nothing compared to that. But like, oh, I'm surviving this now. Think about the pattern so that it stops happening. The pattern is what needs to stop. So if you just notice that again, you're feeling that same emotion that you felt, and you're like, again, I'm ashamed and I hate myself. Why? And it's the same feeling. Trust me, it's the same one. So just clock that and be like, okay, so if I'm no longer willing to give power to anything that makes me feel like this again, no matter what it is, no matter what you think of me, right? This is not something I'm willing to welcome into my system ever again, then let other feelings come. Like I'm just, this is something that I've worked through so many times that I'm done feeling that. And just see what it does to disrupt the pattern so that like these things don't keep happening. To test us. The test is really like, how much do you love yourself? That's the test. How much are you willing to love yourself through like how disgusted I am with me? How about I don't care? Like, let's try that. Let's try it. It comes up again and you're like, "Oh, I'm done with that feeling. I don't know. I don't know." Like you don't have to tell the people or whatever. Like you know what it is, but it keeps coming back for a reason. So that's just my juicy nugget that I'm dealing with today is what if we disrupt the pattern of the shame and the self-loathing and say, "You know what? That's old. That's boring, bro. Like I'm just not okay with feeling like this." So like if you're gonna bring up more instances where I'm gonna feel like this, like then I'm not gonna feel like this. I'm gonna say and it's done. And you can go through literally the same experience that caused you so much like, I hate myself, and face that with, yeah, you again, like, anyway, boring, like, watch. And I'm gonna literally tell you as well as I experience this, watch what happens when you face the same damn thing over and over again, but then you stop and say, this is boring. This is like, it doesn't matter the circumstance, it matters how you're facing it. And if you're looking at it like, I'm not about to feel the same stupid thing again. So come at me with something else and see what happens. And then the pattern is like, oh, you're done with me. And it has to go because it can't be received the same way. You're not going to attract it the same way, right? And God knows, once you focus on like what you want and what you actually want to happen, great. But like we got to attack these things keeping us from our greatness head on with, you're boring and I've had enough of feeling, I don't give a boo. I've sworn many times, but you know what I'm saying? What if we say, I don't care about this same feeling that I've processed so many times? Yes, feel the feeling, but I don't want to feel this again. I'm not going to stuff it down. I'm just going to say, you know what? Yeah, I learned this lesson. What's next? What else you got? Because this one is boring. And see what happens. I swear. Like, but after all that rambling, much love to you. And I hope this is just at least sparking some fighting tools in your body. Like we gotta fight for this. Like, what else do we have? So much love to you and thank you for being here, for just community, right? It just feels so nice. So thank you.